Hello to all the YouTubers and people out there watching this. If you are in your 20s, you are definitely going to want to listen to this girl because I have here Kat. And Kat came to me and said, Liv, I've just moved out to the mines and I want to start investing in property. And I was like, how old is this kid? You were like 27, I think, when we first met. Are you still 27?
Yeah, nearly 28 now.
Nearly 28, yay. What do you do for work? Tell us why you moved out to the mines. What do you do for fun? And why you wanted to get into property investing?
All right. So, yes, my name's Kat. I moved out to WA from the East Coast. I lived in Byron before this, and I work for one of the big four mining companies in the training space, which was the same industry I was in before, but very different on this side of the world. I moved here because I was doing really well at work, although I just couldn't grow personally. Like, the lifestyle of the East Coast, all the distractions, I just couldn't get to those next steps without then taking steps back. So I just was like, try something else. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You just go straight back to where you came from.
What
And
were you doing
I've
in
just
Byron?
hit. I was working in training as well.
Okay.
So for RTO over there. Yeah, so I've been here for just over 2 years now and loving it. I suppose what I do for fun is not all that much as I live in a mining town, but essentially I just try and exercise and hang out with my dog and chill on my days off.
And do you have a house on your own?
Yep, so I live in work accommodation, which is awesome. It's a house they supply. It's quite cheap rent, so it's good.
So cool. And question, why did you decide to get into property investing?
Well, I was seeing the difference in pay, obviously, from being on the East Coast and working in mining. And I thought, if I don't do something with this, I'll just blow it and then there'll be no point me being here. So I looked at some options and I had been following you online for a long time before I reached out because I was sort of like, I wonder how she's going to go. And then I got to a point where I was like, no, I'm ready. Let's just do it. I'll contact her.
Okay, so good. And then what do you think was stopping you from jumping onto realestate.com before meeting me?
Well, I definitely looked in there before, but I live in an isolated area. I know the market's competitive. I don't have the knowledge that you do or other people do. So, first of all, to get some guidance, some support, yeah, be able to have someone help me while I am isolated, find those people that can get things happening for me.
So good. It's one of the things I picked up on you straight away was that there's a lot of people that come to me who can be quite analytical and scared and worried to take next steps and they think they need to get everything right. Funnily enough, though, if you work out how to just hire really smart people to do all that hard thinking for you, actually gets easier. And you're really good at doing that. You're really good at just being like, you know what? I don't know this part, so I'm going to trust this part of this team. Maybe it's my negotiator, maybe it's my accountant, maybe it's my broker. And you kind of just like, trust in the process and trust in who you've decided to put on your team.
100%. That's it. Like when you manage a team, you do the same thing. You hire people smarter than you to make you look good. So that's what I'm trying to do in this space too.
Yeah, I think it's so good. Where did you think you learned how to be so amazing? Because you're so young. You're 27.
Well, I think because I've been in leadership for a long time. Like I started being a branch manager when I was 21 and I moved here like 3 years after that and have stayed in leadership. So I think when you watch the other leaders around you, you pick up on what they're doing well, which is always hiring the smarter person to help you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fast track all the time. I say to people, I'm spending around $1,000 personally on coaches and stuff, right? It makes me millions. Like, it just makes sense to do it. I don't understand why people do that. Yeah, so cool.
And it's investing in yourself as well. Like that money is investing in you at the end of the day.
Yeah. Can't take back what you've learned up here. That's for sure. Can never be stolen. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your results. So today's kind of interesting because we've actually just presented you your second property, but let's talk about your first one. So you're right in the middle of buying your second one right now. First one we purchased you. I'm just bringing it up and having a look now. Purchase price $615,000. Renting for, is it $580 a week? It's now renting for, or a bit more?
Yeah, which was the higher end or highest end.
It's highest end of the quotes that we got. Yeah, so good. So your return, your ROI on that first property is going to be 36%, which is massive. And
Yeah.
you're essentially very, very conservatively, whilst you sleep on this one property, you're going to make conservatively $387,000 of capital growth in the first 5 years. So whilst you're
Yeah.
off doing your thing, you're going to make $380,000 in your sleep. How does that make you feel?
So good. Like, it's just, yeah, makes the future seem easier.
Yeah, it does get easier, doesn't it? And now that we're adding in that second one, so this one purchase price $625,000 purchase price. ROI again on this one 36%. And on this one, you're going to make $393,000 in capital growth. Worst case scenario. That's so worst
Yeah.
case scenario.
So good.
You're going to make $700,000 over the next 5 years just on those two. You're going to stop after
Yeah.
that?
No.
No.
No way. No. We'll wait until I get to 10, then I might be like, all right, slow down.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean,
We'll see. Yeah. And then I'll be like, oh, what's another 10?
yeah, you get addicted to it because you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's this
100%.
money now. Usually it's what we always say, it's like the first five is like the hardest to get a flow and get into a rhythm, get them. And then probably
Yeah.
6 to 10, then it becomes really easy, believe it or not. Because then you've got a whole bunch of properties where the rents are just going up, a whole bunch of properties where like the equity is just growing whilst you sleep. And you're like, oh, I've got another 100 grand in that one, another 150 in that one, another 200 in that one again. And we'll just fucking keep going up. So it makes it so much easier.
Sure.
Just this hard work for now. So, what was the thing that you think you were most nervous about when it came to property investing?
Like the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. What if you miss something? And timing to me is like makes me nervous. Like, oh, it's gone dark in here. Like what if I miss a signature and then I've missed the next deadline? Like those little things. But having people on your team that remind you and you can ask, have I done it all right? Am I on the right track? Makes it so much easier.
Yeah, you were so good at that. And I was like drip feeding you like the next step. I'm like, right, watch this, and you're like, yes, don't live. You little
Yeah.
like, I'm going to turn this girl into a weapon. And you're
Yeah.
doing this all on your own. For people who are watching this, you were doing this all on your own. So I'm so proud
Yeah.
of you.
Thank you.
Tell me, what do you think's been the biggest takeaway that you've learned from working with me?
Like I said, invest in yourself, invest in your time. Like what you just said, you'd send me something and I'd do it straight away. It's because I would say, all right, this week you need to do this amount of time doing this. And like putting that time aside has helped me with lots of parts of my life. But just reminding myself, like, this is for your future. And it just makes you feel good about you at the end of the day as well. So, yeah, it's sort of like ticks all these little boxes that you don't realize.
How much time do you think you needed to put away throughout the whole process of acquiring one property?
Oh, more than I thought, to be honest. But just doing the pre-work before you even get the property as well. So like a good like 3 to 4 hours a week, I reckon. Even just re-watching things, writing things down, looking at them. I need to do repetitiveness, but I'm sure other people don't. But that was just me.
No, you know what? Some people do. I would probably say the clients who take in the most amount of information from me, the ones who do the repetitive stuff. I remember one of my mentors had this whole entire program, and I'd be watching this thing, and I watched it 7 fucking times over a 6 month
Yeah,
window, and it was I dedicated about 16 hours a week to that, right? But
yeah,
like re-listening to it 7 fucking times. So well done.
yeah,
You'll sink in and you'll learn more, and then you'll be more adaptable, and you will have a better regulated nervous system because you won't be making so much emotional decisions. So
yeah.
yeah, well done. So proud of you. Okay, if there was one person watching this, similar person, right? Young girl in her 20s, doing this on her own, might not have moved out into FIFO life, might not have gone that level of sacrifice. The young girl in her 20s who's got some cash and is like, right, these women are inspiring me. What advice would you give them?
It's a good question. I think set small, achievable goals because the more you achieve, the easier the future and bigger ones will be. And just stick to it. Like it is hard. It's not easy. There's weeks that you do nothing and then weeks that you do all of the things. But stick to it. Don't be hard on yourself. Small bites, you'll get to the big cheeseburger at the end.
Yay, big cheeseburger, but I like that. And you know what? You are right. A lot of people need to focus on just the smaller little things like the day-to-day task. And it can be something as simple as, just to back you up here, it could be something as simple as making a phone call to an accountant
Yeah,
or a broker. It could be booking a call with me. It could be sending an
100%.
email. It could be reading
It
one
is.
page of a book. It could be something so fucking simple. It could be listening to just one podcast episode that goes for 40
Yeah,
minutes. You can put it on 2x speed if you need to, for fuck's sake. Like,
100%.
yeah. What's your favorite way of learning?
Doing is my favorite. Being in training, I am a tactile learner, but definitely listening and watching. So, like, your videos are so helpful. Sometimes I watch it, sometimes I listen. Often it's both because I have to do it twice.
Yeah.
But definitely, and little, like, I can't sit there for hours and hours. I have to do like half an hour, move on, come back as well.
Interesting. I need to do your human design
Yeah.
chart. Did I ever do that? No, I didn't.
No,
Oh, God, I'm going to do
I
that for
will.
school.
Yeah.
All right, girl. Well, I want to thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to comment or talk about before we jump off?
Even just to add to like how you got through it, make a list and watch yourself check them off, and seeing you achieving all those things as a visual helps as well.
Ooh, checklist on the visual. Where would you have your checklist?
Well, I put up a whiteboard in my house
Great.
like a nerd. So I have that. I also have like notes in my phone, and I put the little tick emoji. And
Uh-huh.
then so it's 20 things when there's 15 done, you're like, I'm actually getting it done. It might not feel like, but I actually am.
It feels good when you tick off the little things. Also, to that point, narrowing down to little mini micro tasks. So I'm someone who I have ADHD and probably undiagnosed and self-diagnosed ADHD, as all of the entrepreneurs of Gold Coast do. And I get really overwhelmed with a whole bunch of tasks. So if I just make it a micro task, so say for example, say you need to get a quote for something, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's break that right fucking down. The first task is jump onto Google and type in I need blah. Then next task is grab mobile number or grab the contact number. Next task is physically call it with that mobile number. But a lot of people can get overwhelmed. So I just want to let people know that, because you might be thinking, oh, I'm going to reach a massive portfolio and I need to fucking have 100 properties. Like, it's not true. Some people think they only need 1 or 2 properties to change their life. Also, that's probably not going to be true either. For most people, they need somewhere between 6 to 7. But then they look at that 6 to 7, they freak the fuck out, and we're like, hang on, why don't we just have one conversation first? So, and for you, actually, we didn't even share this. Let's share this. Your portfolio planner as well. Do you remember when we did your portfolio planner and it came back to say that you're going to reach $150,000 of passive income in 13 years?
Yeah, that's the goal. That is the goal.
Now, we should actually probably get that redone, because that was done about 6 months ago. So definitely let's redo that for you, because you've become a lot more bullish and I'm seeing you take radical action. My gut intuition tells me it's going to be much greater and grander. So let's actually get the team to redo it. We'll talk about that after.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, great. What
Sounds
great
good.
tips. Thank you for jumping on.